The book calls this section the use of statistical functions, but really there are two functions they want you to learn. One is referred to as count, and the other one is count A. We're going to start with count A. What count A is really doing, so I'm going to type equals count A. I'm going to click on the number 1 in G7 and highlight down to the very bottom of this column. What count A is doing in this instance is it's counting all the number of cells we have in this range that are not blank. Okay, so it counts counts it if it's not blank, and in this case, you'll see that a we get a total of 31 cells. Okay, now that's different than the count function. And they feel like they should be the same, count the number of cells. But what the count function does, and is different than the count A function, the count function is only going to count the cell if the cell contains a number. So anytime you see the NA, that's not getting counted. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, if I counted correctly, out of those 31 cells that we selected. Okay, let me just remind you too, here I'll delete this for a second and then I'll put the number 1 back. What you're going to notice now is when I do that, that cell is blank, it does not contain a number. And so you notice it changed both the result in count A as well as the result in count. Let me put the number 1 back there. Let me come back to where there's NA. Let me delete that for a second. When I delete that, you'll notice it didn't change how many numbers there are. There's still 17 numbers, but it did count the number of cells that were not blank. Went from 31 down to 30. I'm going to put the NA back so that we're correct. But just to give you a sense of the way in which these cells differ, or functions rather, the way the functions differ.